Hey, good morning, guys. Y'all made it. Apologize for running a little bit late on getting everything set up, but I got everything up and running. Uh, and I actually thought I was going to be set up even earlier than usual today because I got my computer out early and got everything set up even earlier than normal. But I got looking for digging up some information and lost track of the time. So, Tyre and Wiley, glad to see you. Oh, I'm not worried about that, Tyre. It is what it is, you know. Uh, Trying to, and I'll tell you what it was is the I'm double checking my own memory from what happened back in 2016. And some of the comments made by different companies and heads of companies, head of media companies, head of uh, social media on the internet, Facebook, Zucker and crew, and Zuckerberg, and how upset everybody was after Trump got elected, and what kind of excuses they were making. Uh, the infamous Facebook meeting afterwards, where Zuckerberg got up there, old robot boy, and apologized for letting Trump get elected, and we won't let that happen again. And then I could have swore that Jeff Zucker over at CNN had made a very similar comment to that. And so I was researching that and then found out my subscription to the New York Times had lapsed. So I had to resub to that, and that took a couple of minutes. And yeah, anyway, time just got away from me. Oh yeah, the Google Meet was, yeah, a lot of people took you know, we they took a lot of blame for themselves for Trump getting elected. I like how they did that. It's our fault Trump got elected. No, it's not your fault Trump got elected. You didn't get him elected unless you're going to assume that simply by allowing people to hear his speeches got him elected. If just the fact that you gave him coverage, that you allowed people to actually hear what the man had to say, is what got him elected. And therefore, your future plans would be that you would only allow your candidates that you personally like to get any kind of coverage, and anybody you didn't like would not get any coverage at all, is what you're looking at. And I've been thinking about this CNN debate tonight, whether or not I'm going to even bother watching it. Because I'm really am of two minds here. I'm still trying to decide what I want to do. Because it's going to be a shit show. Just put it up bluntly. Just put it bluntly. And I was also been trying to do some research here over why the candidates can't decide who they want to have as a moderator or have a say over the moderators. When you have two people who have been as openly hostile to Trump as Dana Bash and Jake Tapper have been over the past 8 years, why would Trump's campaign, why would Trump not say, no, I can't, you're not going to have, these two have been too openly biased against me. They cannot be fair moderators. And then, given that they're going to have the power, the moderators are going to have the power to cut off his mic at their desire, at their wish. That is, like I said, there's no way in hell Trump's going to get a fair shot tonight. CNN, Jake Tapper, and Dana Bash are going to, they're going to destroy anything he has to say. They will not be unbiased moderators. I do not expect to see them being unbiased in any way, shape, and or form. I just don't see it happening. There's just no way that they're going to be unbiased. Just as an example here, what I'm talking about. Okay, here's the first article, and it wasn't hard to find articles. I was actually looking for videos of. Okay, now this is actually a better one here. We'll go with this one first. Okay. Emotions were high on CNN's airwaves as the presidential election was called for Joe Biden in 2020. Tapper declared, for tens of millions of our fellow Americans, their long national nightmare is over. Wouldn't it be just as fair to say for tens of millions of our fellow Americans, their long national nightmare is just beginning? I mean, in all honesty, I have considered the last 3.5 years a national nightmare. Millions of immigrants from unknown origins crossing the borders. But Biden has been for a week now in hiding, in debate prep. And Trump actually had a good idea when he said he wanted piss test or blood test to see exactly what drugs are in Biden's system for tonight. Because there's no way that he is getting up there on that stage where he's not going to be hopped up on something to keep him going. He's usually he is unreachable after 9 o'clock on most cases. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, Neil, good morning. You're right. We've got Chinese coming across. We've got Iranians coming across. They've got known ISIS members are in the country right now. That have come across the border. That's one of the reports I've got lined up to show you guys today. And this is why I say the last 4 years has been a national nightmare for a bunch of us. Because we've watched what he has done to our country. I've commented that when Gerald Ford was president, our only unelected president that we've ever had, he wasn't elected to the vice presidency. He was selected into the vice presidency after Spiro Agnew resigned. Then when Nixon resigned, he became president. Gerald Ford was an athlete, but he slipped going up a flight of stairs into Air Force One. And the national joke from Saturday Night Live all around was constantly about what a klutz Ford was. Biden has fallen several times going up and down the stairs to the point that he no longer climbs the long steps up. They have him going up into almost in the belly of the aircraft, a short flight of steps. Fewer steps for him to climb, the less chance that he's got of slipping and falling again. Yeah, exactly, Neil. But did the media and Saturday Night Live and everybody else constantly, reference the klutz of a president? Look at this idiot we have as president. He can't even climb the flight of stairs. No. Doesn't happen. Now, Trump slipped one time, and what an idiot we got for a president. And how about these psychiatrists and psychologists and everybody, they break out? Oh, Trump's losing it. His mind's not there. He's this, he's that, but they don't break out the same ones making any comments about Biden and his gaffes when he speaks. But anyway, let's go back here to Jake Tapper. Let's go back to Jake Tapper and his comment. It's been a time of extreme divisions. Many of these divisions caused and exasperated by Trump himself. It's been a time of several significant and utterly avoidable failures, most tragically, of course, the unwillingness to respect facts and science and do everything that could be done to save lives during the pandemic. Really there? Yeah, no comment about the fact that one of the reasons our PPE stock was so low because Obama and Biden, as vice president, got rid of so much of it, gave so much of it away, and never restocked. And who was it that initiated Operation Warp Speed, quote unquote, vaccines? That was done under Trump. So, yeah, there was a time of cruelty where official inhumanity, such as child separation, became the official shameful policy of the United States. Oh, you talk about our illegals, people crossing the border illegally, sending children across the borders illegally. Yeah, Jake Tapper. In December, Tapper evoked the Nazi dictator while condemning Trump's comments about illegal immigrants crossing, poisoning the blood of our country. With 4 weeks until Iowans cast the nation's first votes in the 2024 presidential election, the humanizing, dehumanization. I want to say ization instead of izing. Rhetoric of Adolf Hitler is once again alive and well on the national political stage. This time, of course, in the United States. This time given life by former president, current Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump, whose thoughts on immigrants, no, he's just saying immigrants. He's not saying illegal immigrants. So very biased reporting here, very biased commentary. Were made shockingly clear over the weekend. If you were to open up a copy of Hitler's Mein Kampf, you would find the Nazi leader describe the mixing of non-Germans with Germans as poisoning. The Jew Hitler wrote, quote, poisons the bloods of others. Now, comparing a president to Hitler. It's actually illegal to name your child Adolf Hitler in this country. I knew that they wouldn't allow it. The hospitals would refuse it. But I didn't know it was an actual crime to name your child Adolf Hitler. But it evidently it is. Like I said, I was not aware of that. But yeah. And oops, nope, that's not what I want. There we go. That's what I want. So let's see here. I need to get that to there. All right. There's no other way to. There's really no other way to say Donald Trump's language mirrors this, referring to Hitler's commentary directly. Of course, everyone here at the lead is hoping for a full and speedy recovery for President Trump. But we must acknowledge President Trump has refused to abide by his own administration's health experts about how to avoid contracting this disease. The lies told by Fauci and the media over COVID, we all acknowledge what they are. We knew then that the mask did nothing to prevent the spread of COVID. That was psychological. Because that little piece of virus could go right between the fibers of those paper masks and gaiters and cloth masks that everybody was wearing. And nobody was wearing them correctly. The anchor called out the president for mocking those who wear masks and the serious questions that were raised over various Trump campaigns that last masks and social distancing. even calling out members of Trump's family and staff who attended the first debate in Cleveland. Well, the social distancing didn't seem to matter back then to Tapper or anybody else at CNN during all the BLM protests. They didn't call out Maxine Waters. They didn't call out, why can't I remember her name? The mayor of Washington, D.C. They didn't call out Bowser, Mayor Bowser, that's who it is. They didn't call out Pelosi. Remember when Trump tried to stop people from entering the country who came from certain parts of China? And the media was all upset about it. That was the best thing he could have done. But no, that Tapper here is calling him Hitler for doing it. Make no mistake, this is just not reckless behavior. This is a demonstration of wanton disregard for human life. President Trump now in quarantine has become a symbol of his own failures. Now, how many people that got the vaccines and wore the mask still came down with COVID? A lot of people did. How many people who didn't get the vaccine and refused to wear the mask never came down with COVID? A lot of those people did. So, I mean, and I'm one of those that, I got the first two shots because I was trusting, over 60, overweight, autoimmune disease. All right. Those were my three risks. And I trusted the science and went and got the first two shots. Now, I didn't get any of the boosters. But even after I got the second shot, within a couple of weeks before the boosters came out, I came down with COVID. And my wife came down with COVID at the same time. And she'd gotten the shots. It actually hit her harder than it hit me. I just felt like I had a light head cold. It put her in bed for a week. But do we expect, a person who has said this about the president to be a fair moderator? Somebody that has compared one of the two people to Hitler? Dana Bash. She has not been much better. Tapper has accused Trump of running the single most negative, sleazy campaign in American history. I love how these guys, for them, American history started after they were born. Yeah, Tyre, no vax, no COVID. Thank you, Tyre. Okay, Neil, you never got COVID. So, now, and Fauci to today, we see him backtracking and trying to cover his ass on a bunch of the stuff that was said. Tapper saying Trump and his allies in the media, member of his family, and the Trump allied websites and such are leveling charges so heinous. I'm not going to say them, just nonsense crap. Tied to QAnon, tied to Pizzagate, tied to the worst things you could say about a person. Referring to somebody, comparing somebody to Hitler, that's not some of the worst things you could say about a person. And then there's this, and I've got the video of this here somewhere. No, that's not the video. Where's the video? No, I'm not going with that because I found out that was complete nonsense. Here we go. All right.
For mishandling the most sensitive government documents that we have, and for obstruction of justice, along with Walt Nauta, who is charged with intentionally setting up lies to the grand jury, to the FBI. Any way you look at this, and again, despite whatever may be going on in that restaurant, this case isn't going to be settled legally in a cafe. It's going to be settled in the court based on the facts and law.
The folks in the control room, I don't need to see any more of that. He's trying to turn this in. He's trying to turn it into a spectacle, into a campaign ad. That's enough of that. We've seen it already. Let's go over again the 37 charges that Donald Trump.
Here's Tapper telling the control room, I don't want to see any more of Trump being welcomed, being embraced by the people. He doesn't need to see that. Now, if that been Trump being booed and jeered and thrown and having tomatoes thrown at him, he would have called for that video to be played over and over and over again. Tyre, I'm hoping you're right. I'm hoping you're right. I am going to watch the debate, but I'm not going to watch it live. I just can't do it. I just cannot watch that debate live because I'm going to need to be able to pause it, to get up and walk around and calm down before I go back to it again. So, there's just no way I can watch the debate live. I'm going to have to watch it on recording because it's just simply impossible because I get too angry at the lies. I get too angry at the bias. It I'm calm on this stream compared to what I am when I'm watching the news live. Wow, did Willie show up? Yeah, you did. Hey there, bud. I'm sorry I didn't greet you earlier. And as far as how, I'm fully expecting Bash and Tapper to treat Trump like something they scrape off the bottom of their shoes, or something so vile that they got on their shoes they just throw the shoes away. Meanwhile, they're not going to lob softballs to Biden. They're going to set him up a T-ball. They'll have the bat sitting there. He'll push a button or a lever to automatically swing the bat to perfectly hit that ball. They're going to be so gentle on Biden, it's not going to be funny. And I'm willing, I want to count the number of times they forgot to mute Biden's mic. That's I'm not expecting any semblance of fair play tonight. I'm just not. Going back to Jeff Zucker, CNN's president at the time. He was accused and admitted to being too soft on Trump because he allowed his campaign speeches to be carried live and in their entirety, and didn't have political commentary during his speeches early in his campaign. Now, Rubio and Cruz and Bush, they got angry about, they made those accusations also. But Trump was always a front runner from the moment he announced. And I've said it then, and I'll remind you, I'll say it now. I was not an early Trump supporter. I was a Ted Cruz supporter. And if Cruz would run today, or if Cruz would run in 4 years, I'd fully support Cruz then. I would support Cruz as a vice president now. I really would. Tired, they're going to show. See, these people, Tapper and Bash, will have no. There'll be nothing there to say to. Oh, we weren't being biased to Biden. We were being fair and square with our questionings in the way we treated him. Their tone of voice will be nice, won't be assertive, won't be argumentative, won't be combative. But listen to how their tone of voices are with everything they ask Trump. Figure out how many times, I'm going to count how many times they interrupt Trump during his answers versus how many times they interrupt Biden. That almost ought to be a drinking game, except you'll Every time they interrupt Trump, they're in his, after they ask their question, how many times they interrupt him. That could almost be a drinking game, but you'd be drunk within 20 minutes. Like I said, I've got no faith in these guys tonight. I really don't. Let's see, what's this next one I got? Yeah, right here. Unable to fully accept responsibility for what was logical programming decision at the time, Jeffrey Zucker is once again apologizing for his network air, for having his network air President Trump's 26 campaign rallies. Yet he's also defending that decision. Zucker expressed his regret. In other words, caved to criticism from his liberal media friends in an interview with David Axelrod, former advisor to Obama. So, yeah, I mean, this was the head of CNN. I do not believe that's why he's president of the United States, Zucker said, of airing the rallies. But I do think we made a mistake. How can it be a mistake to allow a presidential candidate to get his message out to the people so the people can make a decision as to who they want to vote for? A non-biased news network would be going out of their way to allow rallies and campaign stops to be aired as fully as possible so that the messages of both candidates or all three candidates for the president of the country could get out to the people so that people can make an informed decision as to who they want to vote for. What are the policies that candidate is bringing forth? What are the beliefs of that candidate? Now, are you going to filter, do we want our journalists to filter these opinions, to filter these messages through their own opinions? That's what CNN is now saying they want to do. Oh, yeah, Tyre. Okay, thank you. I agree with you. Especially since Trump is still on a gag order from Metcham there up in New York. He's on a gag order until sentencing. I don't think it's ever a mistake for a news organization to play the rallies and the campaign speeches of a presidential nominee. That way, that person's, you would think that would be a base requirement of a news organization. To allow the candidates to get their message out in their own words, not filtered through the biases of the networks or the reporters. And let the people choose who they want to choose. But that's me and my pipe dream for people. And that's why I can't stand listening to political talk shows on television. You know, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, CNBC. Because they tell you what they think they heard, not what was actually said. Everything gets filtered through their own opinions versus what was actually said. You get a 30-second snippet of the candidate talking. If you're lucky, 30 seconds. And you get 3 minutes of everybody else discussing what they said through their own biases. All right, what do I got next here? Because okay, this was an article in soon after Trump was elected. Journalists failed in 2016. We can't make the same mistakes in covering the Trump presidency. Donald Trump's catastrophic victory on Tuesday night poses the single greatest threat in generations to what we Americans quaintly call our way of life. Do we really want a news organization that now this is a Slate article, but think, this is the type of people that filter what was said to the American people. And Dana Bash and Jake Tapper would agree with this comment 100%. I've spent almost an hour here on this mess. And guys, you know how I get on something that I feel strong about. I just, for some reason, I just go on. Hey, morning there, Ramen. Glad to see you show up. Hey, Retro. I'm glad to. Now, you're up there near Fairbanks, if I remember you saying correctly. I truly hope none of them fires are getting anywhere near your home and that you're staying safe. But then you're probably as used to those fires because Alaska seems to get a bunch of them every year anyway. You're as used to that mess as we are down here to hurricanes and tropical storms. And just as I tell people not to trust what the media says about the weather down here, especially my sister, I just sort Rather ask somebody that lives there what the status is like. Because for some reason the media likes to make these storms and such sound a hell of a lot worse than what they actually are. Did I talk this one here? Was there anything new in this one? Okay, here we go. Tapper, the network's lead Washington anchor, is called the 45th president a desperate electoral loser in the past. Suggested Trump spread Russian propaganda. And instead, if reelected, the former president will try to kill democracy. That's really who we want as a moderator between two candidates? He did try to kill democracy once, and he's going to try to do it again, Tapper said on air in December 2021. But this time with a little help from his friends. He also said Trump incited a terrorist attack on America. Dana Bash has argued that unfortunately for America, the U.S. Supreme Court decided to keep Trump on the Colorado ballot and suggested that the former president incited war domestically during his first term. Maybe he didn't start any new wars abroad, but completely incited a battle after battle. Even, I would say, war domestically, Bash said in 2021 in response to Trump's White House farewell video. Bash also criticized the Trump-Biden debates as being a shit show because of the former president. But CNN is saying that there's no two people better equipped than Tapper and Bash to moderate the debate. Yeah. With commentary like that in their background, they're absolutely perfect to moderate any debate. I'm not going to that. I'm not going to worry about that one now. All right. So okay, I'm going to call that as the end of my commentary about the stuff tonight. We will. My crystal ball is as good as anybody else's crystal ball. Yeah, you're right, Chris. No, they can be a lot worse than Chris Wallace was. They can be retro. I'm going back to what I wanted to say at the beginning here. Why can't each candidate pick a moderator? Yeah, CNN can host it, but the campaigns have to approve of the moderators or supply a moderator or name 2 or 3 people and say, okay, you get CNN, here are the 3 people I want to have as a moderator. And CNN can then pick one of those 2 or 3 people. That way, each side has a moderator that they know that they will be quote unquote fair to them. This this is something I want to see changed in American politics, because these networks now putting together these campaign debates. Right here's a perfect example why you can't trust them. Yeah, retro. I'm going to watch it. I'm just not going to watch it live. I will. I will probably be up all night tonight after the wife goes to bed, and I'll watch it. And that way, I can quietly fume and cuss and fuss without disturbing the wife too much. Have her shut the bedroom door and it's on 9 o'clock Eastern time, I believe. Okay, let's see here. It's supposed to be a 90-minute debate, 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, coverage starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. The debate itself starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. So, 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. That's 8 o'clock Central Time. And let's see here. I want to change at. Okay, let me clear that. And can I change that? I want the time zones. It's not going to let me do it. Time zone converter. So close that 'cause that's not helping me any. Okay, Mountain Time. That would be 7 p.m. to Mountain Time. And what is it to Pacific Time? It'd be 6 p.m. Pacific. So, what time zone are you on, Retro? Tyre, I don't know if I want to do a late night stream or not. Well, Monkey's going to be running his stream, and he'll be doing a 5 or 6 hour stream. And I'm honestly, I won't watch his stream at all tonight. So Alaska's okay. 5 p.m. your time there. Then I didn't know they call it Juneau time or Anchorage convert. Wow. All right. I did not know that existed. I learned something new today. It's called AKST. Interesting. Learn something new today. I will have to add that to, I'm going to have to do that. Okay. Um, let's see. What do I want to jump to here? Wow. They said we were going to be getting storms today, but I'm having to turn on my light so I can see. It's gotten so dark outside. All right. You know, they keep saying the left, Gay Pride Month. And every time, they say, we're just trying to educate your children. We're not trying to change your children. We're not coming for your children. We're just letting them know it's okay to be different. Well, Key West, and Key West is a weird part. You think Florida's weird. Key West is really weird. Key West Library Pride Month story time to teach children how to be a drag queen. The hips on the drag queen go swish, swish, swish. Written by Little Miss Hot Mess. Let's learn. The Key West Library will be reading a book that teaches children how to be a drag queen during the Pride Month Storytime event on Friday. According to the library, story time is typically for children 0 to 6. The book that'll be read during Friday story time is entitled The Hips on the Drag Queen Go Swish, 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 written by drag queen and founding member of the Drag Queen Story Hour, Little Miss Hot Mess. In a WNET education YouTube video aimed at children, Little Hot Mess explained what a drag queen is before reading the book aloud and dancing along. The book encourages children to act out the dance moves. I wrote this book because I wanted everyone to get to experience the magic of drag, and a little practice shaking their hips or shimmering their shoulders to know how we feel fabulous inside our own body. The book is to the tune The Wheels on the Bus Amazon's description of the book states it encourages readers to boldly be exactly who they are and offers a quirky twist on a classic nursery rhyme by illustrating all of the ways to work it. The fun frenzy of fierceness. This book will appeal to readers of all ages, the description is stated. The drag queen characters' names include Frida B. Me, Jacqueline Jill, Tinkerbell, Rita Book, Lucy Goosey, Cinderfella, Peanut Butthole Gala, Rosie Ringaround, and Elemental Pee-Pee. The book begins with the hips on the drag queen go swish, swish, swish all through the town and illustrates a colorful page with drag queens swishing their hips. And on the other side, it illustrates a dull gray version of the town with one man sitting at the table. The rest of the book reads as follows with illustrations of the drag queen. I'm not reading that crap. I'm not reading it. You guys can read it. I think it's large enough there that you can read it if you want to. Yeah. Very family friendly here. Very family friendly. In the video, little hot mess ends by saying, I think we need to have some drag queens in training on our hands. I think we might have some drag queens in training on our hands. The event will be held in the Key West Library from 11 a.m. to noon. That's tomorrow. And the skies have opened up and it is starting to rain. Well, they say we're going to get it. Yeah, but they're not coming for our kids, people. They're not coming for our children. And this is a public library. Tax dollar funded. Okay, Spanky, you're all right. Nothing's going to happen to you. The rain's not coming in the house. You're not. Ever since Hurricane Michael, it starts to rain and he's got to climb up on somebody's lap, usually the wife's. I'm not going to argue with you on that. Yeah, really retro. Yeah, you guys could use this rain. Okay. Now, media here has really, and the left, the media and the Democrats have really been bashing our Supreme Court. How it has gone rogue. It's right wing. It needs to be packed. We need to get rid of Clarence Thomas. We need to get rid of some of these other ones. It's unfair because it's 5.5 to 3.5 liberal. Roberts is at half. he swings both ways. But the left absolutely hates our Supreme Court, claims that their decisions are unfair. Oh, there's that. There's the one I was looking for. Oh, too late now. I wonder why they aren't saying that about this ruling of our Supreme Court. Supreme Court rules on challenge to Biden admin's efforts to influence social media. In a 6-3 decision, the court's majority ruled the states lack standing to sue the Biden administration. Now, if this court was as bad as they want to claim, as the left and the media wants to claim it to be, they would have ruled in favor of the states. And, I think the states have got a pretty good argument here myself that the Biden administration and the Obama administration were putting too much undue influence on social media websites to silence those that they oppose, to silence their opponents, to silence their critics. You disagree with them on policy. I mean, we saw what came out of Twitter after Elon Musk took over, and all the Twitter files that were released. We saw what came out of there. You want a link to this article? Okay, I'll give you a link. This Fox News article. There we go. Like I said, in the Supreme Court on Wednesday ruled in favor of the Biden administration in a challenge to its alleged coordination with social media companies, saying the states who sued this administration lacked standing. The case, Murphy versus Missouri, stems from a lawsuit brought by the state attorney generals from Missouri and Louisiana that accused high-ranking government officials of working with social media giants under the guise of combating misinformation. That ultimately led to the censoring of speech on topics including Hunter Biden's laptop, COVID-19 origins, and the efficiency of face masks. Well, I mean, is it not true that the government did exactly that on those three subjects as well as others? Justice Amy Coney Barrett, writing for the majority, said the plaintiffs lacked standing to bring their challenge. The plaintiffs, without a concrete link between their injuries and the defendant's conduct, ask us to conduct a review of the years-long communications between dozens of federal officials across different agencies with different social media platforms about different topics. This court's standing doctrine prevents us from exercising such general legal oversight. of the other branches of government, we therefore reverse the judgment of the Fifth Circuit and remand the case for further proceedings consistent with this opinion. The vote was 6-3 with Justice Samuel Alito dissenting, joined by Clarence Thomas and Neil Gorsuch. The plaintiffs claim standing based on direct censorship of their own speech as well as their right to listen to others who face social media censorship, Barrett wrote. Notably, both theories depend on the platform's actions, yet the plaintiffs do not seek to enjoin the platforms from restricting any posts or accounts. They seek to enjoin the government agencies and officials from pressuring or encouraging the platforms to suppress protected speech in the future. And the state's alleged injuries were of one step removed anticipatory nature. This is where 230, I think, 230 needs to be rewritten. There's parts of it that needs to be rewritten. And these agencies, these social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Gab, Truth Social, whatever. Let them make a final decision in writing. In writing. Are they a platform? Where they cannot be held responsible or liable for what's posted on there? And if they want that protection from lawsuits, then they cannot restrict what you say, period. Or are they a platform that does not have such protections, but because they don't have that protections, they've got the right to censor anybody and everybody? If they don't like what you said for any reason, they can restrict it. They can delete it. They can do whatever they want to. They can cancel your account. But it needs to be one way or the other. Nothing in the middle. And these media platforms, their censorship, their protections seem to go one way. As you know, I'm always spend a lot of time on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter. I'm sad to say, admit it, that I spend a lot of time on them. But I love a lot of the cooking stuff. So I get a lot of new recipes to try. But I also spend time on the political end. And the crap that is out there said about white people and men, that if those same comments were said about anybody else, about women or about black people or anyone else, they would be banned for life. The post would be taken down and the ban hammer would be dropped. Yeah. What do you think this is? A political channel? Good, Anyway, in a July 4th quarter last year, U.S. District Judge Terry Doherty imposed a temporary injunction preventing the White House and executive agency officials from meeting with tech companies about moderating content, arguing such actions in the past were likely First Amendment violations. When the government, and again, I guess they would consider it uneducated or ill-educated opinion. Anytime the government steps in and tells or suggests or talks to a third party or talks to an organization about censoring someone else's speech, not because it's illegal, but because they don't like it. In my opinion, that is a violation of my First Amendment rights or of that person's First Amendment rights. The government stepping in and saying, no, you can say it, but nobody can hear it because we're going to delete it. And we're going to have you banned if you know, for even saying it or if you say it again. And that social media company should be held liable for that. The government should not be allowed in any way, shape, or form to suggest that someone's commentary should be removed because they don't like it. Hey, morning, Digi. I just read Raman's commentary. No, I don't plan on talking about any recipes here. If the allegations made by the plaintiffs were true, the present case arguably involves the most massive attack against free speech in United States history. That's what the injunction said. In their attempts to suppress alleged disinformation, the federal government, particularly the defendants named here, are alleged to have blatantly ignored the First Amendment right to free speech. The injunction also claimed the censorship alleged in this almost exclusively targeted conservative speech, but that issues the case raises are beyond party lines. The Justice Department had argued a temporary ban would cause irreparable harm because it may prevent the federal government from working with social media companies on initiatives to prevent grave harm to the American people and our democratic processes. Now, when this administration and this Department of Justice and this FBI said, and I'm going to say, you know, even this media says our democratic processes, what they mean is the liberal democratic processes, their ability to control what is being said and heard, their ability to have power. The federal government should not be out there doing this. If a sovereign citizen Once, and I laugh at sovereign citizens. I love these videos where sovereign citizens get pulled over by the cops or they're going into trial. They've been arrested and they're going up before the judge. Have you ever watched these sovereign citizens going up on trial? They are absolutely hilarious. I've seen them get up there and start spouting off numbers or, you know, you I am not that person whose name you've got all capitalized. My name is capital S, lowercase h, lowercase a, lowercase n, lowercase n, lowercase o, lowercase n. Therefore, I am not the person that is being referred to in these court documents because you have all the letters capitalized on the paperwork. It's amazing watching these people and refusing lawyers and doing the admiralty bit. They're an absolute ball to watch. So Justice Alito, however, said if the lower court's assessment of the voluminous record is correct, this is one of the most important free speech cases to reach this court in years. For months, high-ranking government officials placed unrelenting pressure on Facebook to suppress Americans' free speech because the court unjustifiably refuses to address a serious threat to the First Amendment. I respectfully dissent. Barrett explained the plaintiffs rely on allegations of past government censorship as evidence that future censorship is likely. But they fail by and large to link the past social media restrictions to the defendant's communications with the platforms. Thus, the events of the past do little to help any of the plaintiffs establish standing to seek injunctions to prevent future harm. What people have done in the past is a pretty damn good indication of how they're going to be in the future. If you're married and your spouse cheats on you, do you think it's likely they're going to cheat on you again? Or is it a one-time, or do you think it was just a one-time thing? And they'll never cheat. No, you think they're going to cheat on you again. If your spouse hits you during an argument, do you think that was a one-time thing, or do you think they're going to hit you again? The indications are if they hit you once, they'll hit you a second time. Why do you think, Barrett, ACB, that crimes step up? If you're a first-time offender, this is your punishment. But if you're a second time, this is your punishment. If you're a third time, you get a even stiffer punishment. Because what you did in the past is going to be an indication of what you do in the future. And the federal government, it was proven that the federal government stepped in and had people's speech censored by this administration. And you don't think that's an indication that that this administration is going to would continue to do so? Or that future administrations won't do it because this one got away with it? This one got away with it. And the left likes it because it was their side that got away with it. Let's say Trump does win. And Elon Musk is already friendly to the Trump administration. So Elon starts having Twitter censor left wing thought. You think the left is going to be happy with that? They're going to be cussing and fussing and fuming, and they're going to wish. See, they're all happy with this ruling because they got away with it. But when the next conservative administration comes in, and this is something the left, I've said it before, I'll say it again, the left never thinks about the future of their actions. They, as long as they get what they want today, they don't think about the fact that that is going to turn tables. And it's going to be the other side that's going to be able to do what they got away with today. And then they'll sit there and condemn the hell out of it. Like I said, I've said that before. I'm on record saying it, and it's proven. It is proven that the left just, if they can get away with it today, they don't care about tomorrow when they'll sit there and cry like little babies when what they did today gets used against them tomorrow. And being as they can get away with it because of the media doesn't hold them to any standards because the media agrees with them. These past and threatened future injuries were caused and traceable to censorship that the officials coerced, and the injunctive release she sought was an available and suitable remedy. Alito countered, adding that the evidence was more than sufficient to establish the plaintiff standing to sue. And consequently, we are obligated to tackle free speech issue that the case presents. The court, however, shirks that duty, and thus permits a successful campaign of coercion, in this case, to stand as an attractive model for future officials who want to control what people say, hear, and think. This is regrettable. Alito's right. Alito said exactly what well, not word for word, but he's saying the same thing. If the government, and I don't care which party is in power in the government, if the government and its officials get away with it once, they'll do it again. And they'll do it more and more and more. It's easier to stop this crap when they first start doing it than it is after they've gotten away with it. It's like dealing with children. Officials who read today's decision together with the Vullo decision will get the message. If a coercive campaign is carried out with enough sophistication, it may get by. That is not a message this court should send. I mean, I read through this through ACB's, and I'd love to sit down with her and question her about a bunch of this stuff. Her thought processes, why she let this go through the way she did. because it just doesn't make sense to me. It truly does not make sense. Oh, I like that, Tyre. I like the way you said that. Definitely, you're not wrong. They they just don't think that whatever they do today is going to be used against them tomorrow. But you would think, as over the past 8 years, how many times things, how many times they've whined and cried about this kind of stuff, how it's been used against them. You got Purdy, Mo, yeah. Let's see. Do I want to do this or not? No, I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. Let me see if there's any. I need to find. I didn't have time to look for something lighthearted today. Oh, okay. Let me share this. Elon Musk has a post, and science nerds will like it. There it is. Let me start this over again.
Wait, I see it.
Yeah,
Coming down.
that's one.
And
There's two.
That's rockets re-entering.
there's a
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Do they land and stay upright? Oh, yeah, they did. Well, at least it looks like one of them did. Yeah.
wait, I see it.
Yeah, that's one.
That's great.
And
He didn't say anything about what that was about, though. That's great. Oh, I had some fun with Jamal Bowman. Holy crap. Man runs into traffic after robbing a woman. Wow. Wow. There's no way he survived that. Hey, Josh, good morning. Well, I mean, guys, I mean, I'm not YouTube friendly. I'm not pandering to the left. I'm not an anti-Trumper. Well, I mean, I've disagreed with Trump on a lot of his things. I went through his stuff. And one of the things he's saying is about giving the police more protections. I think the police deserve less protections. I think we need to absolutely get rid of qualified immunity for the police. The police get away with committing crimes, violations of our civil rights under qualified immunity. Well, they didn't know that was against the law. So therefore, they get qualified immunity. But you and I, we didn't know something was against the law. Too bad. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, is what we're told. Yet the police get to hide behind that exact same ignorance under qualified immunity. I don't think anybody should have qualified immunity. I don't think judges should have qualified. I don't think district attorneys should have qualified immunity. If a district attorney breaks the law in prosecuting someone, then they should be prosecuted. Not just disbarred, not just removed from office, but criminally charged and prosecuted. They fail to release exculpatory evidence. They should go to jail. They bring charges against someone that they know should not have been charged, and they wait until. And this is the one that gets my goat the most when it comes to prosecutors. Somebody's being prosecuted. They've got charges filed against them. And the prosecutor keeps sitting there trying to strike a deal with them. And the guy or gal refuses to take the deal. Then up to the morning of trial, all of a sudden the prosecutor drops all charges. That DA, those prosecutors should be charged for malicious prosecution and held individually responsible for all the financial hardship the person they were prosecuting went through. Probably, I tell you, Josh, I mean, I don't even know what my subscriber, I know I used to have 101 subscribers. I don't know what my subscriber content is now, because I know I lost some, which I deservedly so lost. Oh, we got 130 subs. Okay. I'm surprised I've got that many, because I deserve to lose a lot of subs. But my viewership is way, I mean, I think it's like 6 to 10 views on a video. Oh, my Just Say No video got 24 views. Average view duration was 26 minutes. Peak concurrent viewers was 7. So, let's see here. Running late, no time to get fancy had 16 views. Friday Fun Stream had 24. The Stonehenge Damage had 22. Oh, the Did He or Didn't He had 39 views. Okay. So, I mean, I'm a low double digits creator here, I guess. So they don't consider, YouTube doesn't consider me somebody worth pushing. Well, I appreciate you supporting me there, Josh. I mean, I appreciate anybody who, I wonder about the sanity of anybody who watches my streams, especially if they watch the whole thing. I may question their sanity, but I know my wife does. But again, this stream is how I get my frustrations out. Okay. I'm not an entertainer. I'm not a funny person. This stream is how I get my frustrations out. This is how I get my thoughts out to the world. Back when there used to be GeoCities. I had my own site there on GeoCities until they went away. Shrooms look at politics. Brent Bozel's group, one of their groups asked me to work with them, but I was still active duty military at the time, so I had to turn that down. So, well, I appreciate the compliment there, Josh. I really do. I want to come on here and have a good time. I tell you, the Friday streams are my favorite streams. Where Ramen and I and Dar, just have fun. We talk, and you guys, we just have fun. We talk about movies and such. Get away from the politics. I really wished I could stream on Wednesdays, but I work Tuesday nights. That's my night to work that I'm allowed to work. So I'm come 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm dead to the world. I'm 3/4 of the way asleep already, no matter what I'm doing. You can poke me with yeah. All right, I like that. You guys poke me. Ah, Tyre, for not to break open old wounds. The only time people really got to me and what they were saying is when I was accused of abusing Ramen and Dar. And that really got to me when I was accused of abusing them. And it wasn't just one person, but like I had 8 or 9 people popping on saying that. And that really bothered me a whole hell of a lot. Because Ramen and Dar, I consider good friends. And that's why I took that couple month vacation that I did, because I really wanted to look back at all my streams to see if I was actually as bad as what I was told I was. So that's that's an old wound. That is that is the criticism that bothers me, is me being told that I'm abusing other people. You can accuse me of being a racist. I don't care. Accuse me of being a homophobe, a xenophobe, uh, uh, Islamphobe. None of that bothers me. So, but abusing people I consider friends, that bothers me. But I come to realize that those people were just out, they're out to hurt me in the way they knew they could. So, that was they found a way to hurt me and make me question myself. So anyway, here we go. Tucker Carlson just exposed they're building a new bridge in the Darien Gap to accelerate mass illegal immigration into America. As if Biden's border crisis isn't bad enough, this administration is now seeking to convert our national parks, America's most cherished national treasures and historical sites, into tent cities for illegal aliens. Such actions not only debase our national heritage, but blatantly violate numerous federal statutes, including those governing management and protection of our national parks, NEPA, and the Administration Procedure Act. Now, remember back when, just a few months ago, when Biden decided to go ahead and finish building the wall. His first excuse in not finishing building the wall is because it didn't have permission from all these government organizations because it went up against the laws or regulations and other such crap. Then all of a sudden, Biden decided that part of the wall needed to go up anyway, and it took him all of 20 minutes to sign the paperwork that it allowed them to do exactly what needed to be done despite those rules, regulations, and laws. So this administration's got no problem sidestepping rules when they want to. How bad is this latest move to convert our national parks into ungovernable tent cities? While Wyoming's effort to prevent catastrophic wildfires from destroying our national forests are met with intensive scrutiny from unelected bureaucrats in this administration, President Biden is categorically exempting the housing of thousands of individuals in our national parks from any type of environmental review. I want to see drone video evidence of this. This is an allegation here. I want to see drone video evidence. I want to see somebody flying a drone through there and videotaping, not videotaping, but recording video of what's actually going on in these parks. Do I doubt that this is happening? Hell no. But the other day when I did a video search, and illegals in national parks. Here we go. November 27th of 2023, this White House rejects Republican bill to block housing of migrants on lands under the jurisdiction of the National Park Service. Let me share this. Biden's push to allow illegal aliens to live in national parks using federal funds results in House GOP block. Biden White House faces backlash for housing migrants in Gateway National Recreational Area. Hundreds of undocumented is the word they use, but they actually mean illegal migrants have been apprehended in the Big Bend National Park. That was in 2021. So yeah, there's this is something that's been going on for a while. Oh, I want this. Let me see if I can find something here in the past week. Uh, mm, nothing here in the past week. Let me look in the past month. So anyway, come back to this article. Oh crap, I did that, didn't I? Well, Josh, it would have to be Mayorkas. Why the Democrats have been protecting Mayorkas is unbelievable. The Democrats, okay, Josh, one thing here the Democrats haven't seemed to learn, all right, and Bill Mayer, is that how you pronounce his last name? He actually gave a little bit of a rant not too long ago about how the American people are tired of this illegal immigrant issue. And they're not tired of it in a way that the Democrats like. They're tired of the illegals getting into the country. And it's not just us white folk who are claiming the replacement theory, but Hispanics and black people are getting angry about it. Not too long ago, I showed that video of that woman sitting there. I believe it was either Detroit or Chicago, one of the two. But they shut down their public school for their kids and told them all their kids had to do remote learning because they're going to house illegals in the school building. And while personally, I could be a fan of remote learning. I would definitely be a fan of remote working. Children need constant supervision in a learning environment. Because you put them by themselves in their room with a computer and they're not going to learn. Remote learning is not good for kids. At least as an adult, you learn, or you should have learned, that there's consequences for not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Children are still ignorant of that fact. They haven't learned that lesson deep in the core of their bodies yet. Children need that adult in the room with them when they're learning. They need to be able to ask questions. They need to be able to see the teacher, be in the physical presence of that teacher. Just as that teacher needs to be in their physical presence so she can get she or he can get the feedback from the students as to how well they are understanding the lesson plan that is being presented to them. No, Josh, I absolutely disagree with that statement. I do not agree with licensing for children. I know that's a big move that some people want to go to, but once the government gets involved, oh, okay. I'm okay. I'm sorry for misunderstanding. I apologize for misunderstanding what you were getting at there, Josh. You know, most of us would agree that there is a need for government. There's a need for societal rules. I mean, there's an absolute need for it. However, ding, 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 the government needs to be restricted, needs to be constricted. And honestly, I think every bureaucrat and every governmental worker needs to be needs to, a length of time in office. You can only work in the DMV for 5 years. Okay. Then you're out. You can only work in, in a bunch of these agencies for a certain number of years, and then you're out and you can't go back to work as a government employee again. But once again, either that or make it very easy to fire them. I've still got that video in my mind. And I wish I would have saved it because it's been deleted. Of that State Department woman. Yeah, I know, those words to the effect, yeah, I know Trump said that we're supposed to be doing this, but we're slow leaking it. We'll do it eventually, but we think that's a bad policy, so we're not going to do it right away. And meanwhile, they are actively working while on company time for the political opponents. That should have been an instant firing. That should have been an instant firing right then and there. Josh, we've allowed governmental bloat. What we first need to do is stop the growth of the government. All right? This is just my opinion. We need to stop the growth of the government. This is as big as it's going to get. It's not going to get no bigger. Then start weeding out. I think I don't know if Trump actually got it done or not, but I know at one time Trump had said for every new regulation or law coming out, there needs to be the removal of 2 others. And I really agree with that. Now, there's some agencies, okay, that are very important to our lives. The Food and Drug Agency, for example. I want somebody there to ensure that the foods we buy in the markets, the drugs we are prescribed, are safe and actually do what the doctors or the companies claim they're going to do. All right? Like I'm at almost the max on my gabapentin that I'm allowed to have by law. I'm 1 step from the maximum amount. And my doctors are preparing me to be boosted up to that next level. Same way with my hydrocodones. I'm being mentally prepped for being stepped up to the next level because of the chronic pain that I'm in. I'm sitting here right now shaking. That's why I don't have my hands on the mouth. All right. But the whole thing is I want to make certain that these pills I take are safe and they're going to do what the doctors say they're going to do because they've been told that by the pharmacy companies. So somebody needs to be there to hold the pharmacy companies. Somebody needs to be there to hold Tyson Foods and Kellogg's and everybody else to standards to ensure the food they're putting out on in the markets for us to consume is safe. So I'm pretty, I think there is bloat and unnecessary law regulations and such there, yes. I would love to see that every regulation, though, that these companies put forth have to go to Congress and be signed as a bill, debated, voted on, and then sent up to the president. I want to see every bill that gets sent up to the president be a single issue bill. If it says it has to do with veterans, and everything in that damn bill has to do with a veteran issue. No money for Ukraine tagged onto it, or no money for the wall tagged onto it. As a poison pill. All right. If it's a veterans bill for money for veterans or something like that, then damn it, that's all that needs to be in there. If it's a bill dealing with the wall, then that's all that needs to be in there. You don't put in uh, $100 million bill for the wall and a $10 trillion bill for Ukraine. Because that bill is no longer about the wall, it's about Ukraine, even though the title of the bill is for the wall. We need to get our Congress, we need to get, and honestly, at one time, I think it was under Newt Gingrich, every bill had to have as part of attached to the bill the constitutional authority for that bill. Where in the Constitution does it give the government the authority to do this? And watching the hoops that these guys jumped through to make that happen was funny to watch. You'd sit there and read the bill and then read where the constitutional authority for it. And it's like, wait a second. You'd pull out your copy of the Constitution and read it and sit there and scratch your head and wonder how they made that thought process work. So we've got, but I do not want another constitutional convention. Good God, no, I do not want a constitutional convention. There is nothing wrong. Well, there is only a very few things within our constitutional which I disagree with. And the reason why is because they've been abused. Like the one line that gives that when the way it is written allows Congress to step in and take over all elections. Yes, there is a line in there that allows that to happen. And Nancy Pelosi tried to use it. So, yeah, we've got some, there's a few things in there that, they did a good job in putting a lot of safeguards inside the Constitution. Sadly, though, human beings being what they are, and some of the shitheads being what they are, excuse my language. I apologize for that, but some people being the way they are, they've abused certain sections of the Constitution to see themselves, to suit their political party. But anyway, I've gone a little bit over 2 hours this morning. And I need to go pop a pain pill. So I'm going to go ahead and call it for today. This is Thursday, of course. So Friday, tomorrow is the Friday fun stream. If there's anything anyone wants to see us talk about tomorrow, got any ideas, go ahead and my DMs are open. On Twitter, or send them to Ramen. But if you got a recipe you want us to talk about, send them to us. We'll be more than glad to talk about them. Rainbows and puppy farts. I've got a rainbow story, but that's not for a Friday fun stream. Okay. So anyway, everybody have a good day. Enjoy yourselves. Be cool, be calm. Retro, I hope you guys get a bunch of rain here soon. Y'all need it. Stay safe up there. And everybody else, be with the ones you love and love the ones that you're with. And have a good day.